Stoveleg Media, igniting conversation.
Welcome to True Crime to Go. What can I get for you?
I don't know. It's a tough choice. How about just something with no rhyme or reason, no motive, just questions?
Pull up to the second window and we'll see you next crime.
Welcome to True Crime to Go. I am John, here with Jamie. How you doing, man?
I'm doing all right, man. There's a lot going on around us, a lot of local cases that I'm tracking, so my mind's kind of been there and hopeful. They found some local remains and we're tracking to see who those may belong to. So I don't know, just a lot of stuff going on, but this is an interesting one nonetheless, and it didn't happen here. I guess it started and happened in Washington and part of it in Hawaii. Couldn't get much further away from here and still be in America.
Yeah, this is a case that I researched very briefly, and I walked away with a lot more questions than answers. So,
yeah, why don't you go ahead and get us rolling?
Yeah, in the weeks leading up to June of 2024, there was a 33-year-old named Alyssa Bradburn. She began planning to kill her father, named Timothy Bradburn. So, 33 years old. I was thinking that when I read the title of this article that I stumbled upon, this was going to be a teenager, but she is well into adulthood.
Yeah, he's not 33 years old. She is.
Right. So she ended up practicing with a firearm inside their home in northwest Spokane. She received help loading the gun at a gun range, so she had to drive to a gun range and ask for help. She even went home and journaled about her plan. And on June 25th, 2024, Timothy Bradburn returned home from a trip to Hawaii. And as he walked through the front door, still holding his suitcase and his keys, Alyssa ambushed him, shot him multiple times. An autopsy determined that he had been shot 4 times total.
Yeah, so obviously she's planning this in advance. If she's trying to get away with it, journaling about it is not the best move. But I don't know that she was trying to hide anything, because as soon as this happened, she called 911. And she reported that she had shot her father and that his body was in the entryway of their home. She told dispatchers that she'd be waiting for him outside. And during the investigation, she started out saying that it was self-defense. But after some more interrogation, when they started to really question her story, she gave up. There were no other motives or evidence that her father had abused her or anything like that. She had no prior history, but she admitted that she had killed her father out of cold blood.
Absolutely insane. So when I hear something like that, I automatically go to, well, obviously he was abusive to her in some way or hurt her in some way, and that's why she wanted to do that. On April the 2nd, 2026, in Spokane County Superior Court, Judge Julie McKay sentenced Alyssa to 340 months in prison, 280 months for the murder, plus a 60-month firearm enhancement, followed by 36 months of community custody. The sentence also included restitution related to her father's death and a permanent no-contact order between her and her brother named Trace.
Yeah, so this is a sentence for first-degree murder with a firearm enhancement. And I just want to say to Judge Julie McKay that in America, we deal in years, not months.
Yeah.
We actually
This is not a baby. This is a sentence.
Yeah, that's a great point. So that's about 28 years as a minimum for this sentence, but I didn't want to have to do the math, so not super happy about that. During the trial and its sentencing, Bradburn really didn't hold anything back. She smiled while listening to testimony, and she ended up telling the court, "I killed Tim Bradburn, and I'm guilty. I'm not afraid anymore. I'm okay with going to prison for however long." She stated that she enjoyed the trial process, but believed she deserved punishment and would accept her sentence. Deputy Prosecuting Attorney Emily Sullivan described the evidence as showing an extreme and elaborate degree of planning, but given her unusual affect and her reaction to this, John, I have to assume there was some sort of break in reality that there was no previous history of her being violent. So what? Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you said, a lot more questions than answers.
You can look at the pictures of her in court and she just looks so happy to be there. And it's ominous in a way. Trace was able to provide a victim impact statement, and he described the family's devastation. Judge McKay noted that Bradburn's criminal history began with the most significant and serious crime that one could commit. As of April 2026, this month, Alyssa has begun serving her sentence, and the charges were resolved by a jury verdict in sentencing. So this is absolutely crazy. I tried to look into, if this went to a jury trial, then there has to be discovery. So was there abuse? She mentioned abuse, but then recanted and said, nope, I made that up.
Yeah.
So her mental health was the problem. I mean, she basically, from what I can read, she just had she had some kind of disorder that she was not able at times to differentiate fantasy and reality. And I don't know if that's legitimate or if she, for some reason, harbored hate against this man, and that's how it was manifested.
Yeah, it's wild. And I mean, obviously you hate to see anybody get hurt, but this is a scenario where she really just seemed to do this from nothing, for no reason. And it's heartbreaking to hear it as a parent. We talk a lot about kids getting hurt, but never thought about being afraid of my kids. This is a little unsettling, I would say.
Absolutely. Wait till you see the picture of her smiling. I'm sure that may be the artwork for today. If not, just go Google it because it's insane.
I don't want to see switch to a picture of one of my daughters, so I'm probably not going to look at it, but we'll get it on the episode art for sure. John, thanks for bringing this up. This is certainly a different type of case because you don't see somebody just, I guess, snap, for lack of a better word, like this all the time. But this has been a crime story in 10 minutes or less.
Would you like crime with that?
You've listened to True Crimecast, distributed by Stoveleg Media. Check out stoveleg.com to find out more about your hosts and to find other podcasts to listen to. Stoveleg Media, igniting conversation.